Senator Casey.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I want to thank you and the ranking member for having this hearing, and I know I'm running late. We're all juggling different hearings and engagements today, but I wanted to start with Mr. Keys, and I really appreciate the work you're doing in Philly. I wanted to focus on what we all would hope every student has the opportunity to experience, which is a safe, inclusive, and supportive learning environment. With that goal in mind, I'm working to advance bills that will provide schools, educators, and students with the resources they need to thrive. One piece of legislation I've introduced now for a number of years, the Safe Schools Improvement Act, would require school districts to establish codes of conduct that specifically prohibit bullying and harassment among students, which supports the safety and inclusion of all children. Another bill I've recently introduced is the Showing Up for Students Act, which will provide additional funding for the Office of Civil Rights in the Department of Education. This office's mission is to ensure that all students have equal access to education, that all students can learn in a safe and supportive classroom. This has become especially urgent in the wake of the anti-Semitism that we see on campuses, but it's also important in every year, every era, when we have on, whether it's a college campus or any other educational environment, instances of racism or anti-Semitism or any kind of discrimination. The Department of Education is charged with the responsibility to make a determination, a very specific, evidence-based, fact-based determination as to whether or not there is a hostile environment on that campus or in that school setting for students. That Office of Civil Rights in no way has the resources that it needs. It needs to hire, in my judgment, hundreds more to carry out its responsibility to complete the investigations they've already undertaken. So I'll continue to fight for that funding, and anyone who says they care about what's happening on our campuses should support the funding for the Office of Civil Rights. So, Mr. Keys, with that predicate, what resources do you need and do you feel that are necessary both as an educator and as a leader to ensure that all students can succeed, especially students with disabilities in the district?
What resources do I need? Better training, more focused training on the specifics to the populations that we work with, whether it's autism, whether it's a child with multiple disabilities, whether it's somebody who needs learning support. There needs to be better focused training, not just for teachers, but for paraprofessional staff as well, because 99% of the time, we're the ones training our staff on how to work with these students. Now, mind you, we have to teach, we gotta maintain paperwork, we have to make sure that our kids are happy and healthy and safe. There's a lot of things under the umbrella for the salary that we make. And most of the times, you have teachers who are not very well seasoned and able to effectively train their paraprofessional staff because they've never been trained effectively themselves. I was lucky. Every teacher I worked with had been there 30, 29 years. So I got that training. So what I do is I pass that on to everybody who I cross paths with within my school, even down to school climate staff, which a lot of those were former paraprofessionals as well. So that goes in tandem with what you said about making sure that children are safe and they're able to access their education and not have to deal with all of the harsh realities of the world that we're dealing with while they're in that school building.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your leadership and the fact that you've served as both a teacher and a paraprofessional, I think, indicates your experience is significant. I wanted to highlight that both the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers and the district recognizes the talent and dedication of their paraprofessionals, and they're thinking of ways to creatively address the teacher shortage. What aspects of the paraprofessional to teacher program were most helpful to you? And secondly, what can the federal government do to encourage the development of these grow your own programs at the local level?
what was most helpful to me and what's going to be most helpful to my colleagues is eliminating that debt that comes along with going back to school. Because again, when you think about paraprofessionals, remember, they're some of the lowest paid in education. They still have to survive out here in the world while they're trying to get to that next level of their career. And even myself, I didn't have to pay for this master's degree, but I got 2 other degrees that coming soon, I'm gonna have to start paying back. So the financial aspect was the most helpful part of it. And what kind of scares me about it is there's no guarantee that that money is going to be there in the future. You know, so I think the federal government can help by ensuring that there's funding for programs such as the Para Pathways program to again promote and grow your own, because you have the people there. You have the teachers there already. They just need that last bit of help.
Thank you very much.
Senator Hickenlooper.